Welcome back, everybody. I'm the Venture Weaver, and today's chronicle takes us into one of the darkest, strangest, and most ambitious regions in the entire game, Deep Labyrinth. This section is where everything shifts. The world stops being grounded, stops being familiar. It becomes psychological. It becomes mythic, and it starts bending reality the deeper you go. Let's step in. The descent into darkness, which is the entrance, is nothing but shadow. You step into a world carved beneath the earth, where the walls swallow the light instead of reflecting it. And the darkness here, it isn't just visual, it weighs on you. It grips the back of your mind. The first thing I wanted players to feel was quiet dread. The wind howls through the tunnels like a creature mourning its own death. Right after that, the silence hits. A silence so loud it gnaws at your sanity. This opening stretch is pure atmosphere. Minimum NPCs, minimum detail. Just you, the lantern, and a sense that something unseen is watching from the corners you can't illuminate. And trust me, something is watching you. Eventually, buried in the endless black, you see them. Two piercing red eyes, staring straight at you. This moment is one of my favorite early Labyrinth reveals. No monster descriptions, no name, just cold, dead eyes. And you find signs of habitation. Hay spread out as bedding, a makeshift camp in the place no sane being would choose to live. I wanted players to stop and think, who lives here? Why? What happened to them? This whole stretch works like that. Hints, whispers, shadow figures on the edge of vision. It's designed to unmoor you. The rope bridge of nowhere, then there are winding tunnels in oppressive silence. The floor drops away into an abyss. A rope bridge stretches out in front of you, frayed, ancient, barely holding together. And this is the moment where your survival instinct kicks in. You step out into it, and every plank creaks like a scream. The bridge sways, and in the darkness below, watching you from the void, more red eyes. In one version of early development, this was the first place the player met the Torvenis. Now you glimpse one beneath the bridge, waiting, silent and hungry. Forgotten homes and forgotten people on the other side of the bridge, the world changes again. Stone dwellings carved into the walls, modest beds, simple belongings. Signs of a community that once lived here or still does somehow. This is where the labyrinth stops being just a dungeon and becomes a world. People live here. People pray here. And sadly, people even died here. In one of the small dwellings, darkness whispers your name. That's intentional. It's not a jump scare, but a moment where the game's metaphysics bleed through. The labyrinth itself becomes aware of you. Then comes one of the biggest reveals of this art. A hidden wall slides open. Behind it is an ancient temple, forgotten, buried, and swallowed by the earth. This temple section is the heart of the sequence. It's where the atmospheric boundaries become spiritual and otherworldly. Of course, you hear chanting, the echoes of voices, priests and priestesses existing, wooden dishes set on tables as if waiting guests who died centuries earlier. You meet a lone woman chanting by her fire. Her voice fills the chamber like she's trying to keep something terrible contained to devotion alone. And deeper in, an elderly priest appears, quiet, weathered, resolved. His presence echoes the anchors the whole place. He's not a threat, he's not an ally, he's simply surviving, holding on to rituals long enough after their meaning dissolves. The section shows the labyrinth as a graveyard of cultures, entire worlds lost beneath the earth, the collapse and the chaos. Past the temple, the world decays again. Rooms crumble, rubble blocks passages, stone coffins lie half buried, skeletal remains peek through the debris. You're walking through what feels like the aftermath of the world ending twice. There's even a brutal burial chamber destroyed by them. A small hint that sacred places are not safe here. Then the labyrinth begins to rot from the inside. The Messian sage. The air thickens into mold. Mushrooms grow across the walls. Slime drips from the ceilings. This is the mycelium domain. The sage itself appears in a flash, a creature woven of fungus, decay, and ancient knowledge. And later you see it again, clinging to the ceiling, staring down at you with a grin that feels wrong. This entire subsection tells the story of a creature that has survived here far longer than any human, and it recognizes you. It laughs at you. It mocks you. Then the labyrinth stops pretending to be a place and becomes a predator. Walls pulse like muscle. Floors undulate beneath your feet. Rooms crush inward, trying to close around you. Something claws through the walls, trying to reach you, but fails. This is the labyrinth asserting itself. A living maze, a hostile environment. These are the things that adapts. One of the best moments in is when an arm bursts through the wall trying to flash of light. A reminder that not everything here is a metaphor. Some beings are trapped in the walls, hungry and alive, the brightness, the traveler, and the long walkway. Suddenly the world flips on its side. Darkness dissolves into overwhelmingly bright, and you meet an adventurer, someone like you, but broken by the experience. They sit alone watching you, studying whether you will survive what they couldn't. Then comes the endless walkway. Reality itself bends, the walls shimmer between void and sunlight, as if the labyrinth is choosing which reality is real. This walkway is intentionally disorienting. It's the turning point where the entire narrative shifts towards cosmic horror. Water, ruins, and rising floods. The next major environment is the drowned world. Citadel wrapped in vines. Flooded chambers echoing with rushing water. Creatures stalking below the surface. Floods rising around your feet. Statues broken and left to decay. Mermen that leap out without warning. And just when you think it can't collapse further, entire floors crumble and drain into the earth. This section is about erosion, both physical and mental. The world falls apart around you and your sanity frays with it. Voices whisper endless paths as you continue. The labyrinth becomes a sinister place. Endless loops, paths that circle back on themselves, water that rises and vanishes, cries that lead you nowhere. You find an adventurer near death, a mirror of what the player could become if they wander too long. By this point, the tone is despair. The labyrinth becomes a commentary on how hopeless, wandering, on being trapped in a place with no sky, no time, and no mercy. Tombs flood in the final chambers. Stone statues, ancient stories carved into walls. Tombs disturbed by the living and the dead. Water rising higher and higher. The final stretch is a world drowning itself. You notice that rooms twist, walls collapse, stone melts into darkness. Vines creep out, hungry for fresh prey. This entire descent is designed to push the player to the limit, not in combat, but in atmosphere, imagination, and tension. The labyrinth wants you lost, it wants you broken, and it wants you forever wandering. And this is the only beginning of what lies beneath. So thank you for diving into the deep lure of the labyrinth with me. This entire section represents the moment the game stops being a simple adventure and becomes a saga of descent. A story about forgotten civilizations, living creatures, fungal sages, drowned worlds, cosmic corridors, and the madness that waits for all of us in the dark. If you enjoyed this chronicle, remember you can download the game for free and support it on Patreon. Links in the description below. And I'll see you in the next episode, where we go even deeper into madness.